What's up, family? Man, I bless each and every one of you. May God continue to guide you, keep you, comfort you, aid you in your growth and development, as well as the healing stages of your life. Family, man, we got to grow up. We have to grow up emotionally. Man, I want to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you guys today. Man, the games they played. The games they played. Now, I apologize for the noise in the background. You hear stuff moving around. Smart turtles in their little tank. Just moving a bunch of the crystals around in the tank. But we're talking about the games they played. The games they played. You know, it's a trip because so often, so many of us, we get caught up in relationships and just different situations to where we feel as though we've been dogged out. We feel as though people have taken advantages. We feel as though people have misunderstood us intentionally, you know what I mean? And they just did some off the wall crazy stuff, you know, and it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Everybody's entitled to do what they want to do. And the trick with that freedom comes karma. You know what I mean? With that freedom comes karma. What am I saying? You're entitled to do whatever it is you want to do. You're entitled to mistreat people. You're entitled to ghost people. You're entitled to try to sabotage people. You're entitled to try to destroy people's character and all that other crazy stuff. You know what I mean? You're entitled to walk around and break people's heart and lie to them and just do all the crazy stuff that we do. You're entitled to do that. It's your life. Live it however you want to. You know what I mean? But understand that with that freedom, with that quote-unquote entitlement, comes responsibility. You may not want that responsibility. You may not think that you have that responsibility, but you're going to have to answer for everything you've done. Make no mistake about it. You might quote-unquote get away with it for a year, a couple of years. You might get away with it for a few years. But I promise you, life has a way of coming back and knocking on your door and saying, remember when? Remember when? And every time, I guarantee you, every time life comes back and knocks on your door to remind you of this crazy shit we've done, to remind you of the foul shit we've done, to remind you of the toxic ass shit we've done. Every time life comes back and knocks on our door and holds up that book of remembrance, on such and such a day, you did da-da-da-da-da. On such and such a day, you was with so-and-so and you did da-da-da-da. You was with this person, you was with this person, you was with this person. You remember when you ghosted this person? Remember when you lied to this person because you didn't want to hook up with them? Remember when you did woo-doo-woo-doo? Remember when you mistreated this person? Remember when you lied on this person? Remember when you tried to tear down this person's character? Remember when you were sitting over here gossiping with this other person, talking about this person right here? Remember when? Remember when? Remember when you broke this person's heart? I know you said that you didn't do it intentionally and that you didn't go out there with a purpose and a plan of being mischievous and foul, but you still broke their hearts. Remember when? Remember when? Remember when you went into that business venture and you thought you was getting away with some shit? Remember when you thought you had the upper hand? Remember when money was flowing to you and everything was looking good and you couldn't be touched? Remember when you thought you was the shit? Remember when you got your hair did and you was dressed and you thought you was cute? Remember when that person walked up to you and you didn't want them touching you, you didn't want them talking to you because you thought you was the shit? Remember when? Remember when? And it's crazy how we always want to forget about all that shit we've done. It's crazy how we always just dismiss that. We always sweep that up under the rug. Oh, that was nothing, and I didn't mean nothing by that, and and we dismiss and justify our actions, not understanding that our actions broke somebody's heart, not understanding that our actions confused and hurt somebody else. Remember when? Remember when? Remember when you made promises and you didn't keep them? Remember when you made promises and you wanted to keep them, but something happened outside of your control and you weren't able to keep those promises? Remember when? Remember when you borrowed something from somebody and you had every intention of giving it back at a certain date, and something came up outside of your control? Remember when? It's funny how when people do stuff to us, it's funny how when we think we're at the low end of the stick or we get the bottom of the stick, you know what I mean? It's funny how when we think people are dogging us out, when people are ghosting us, when people are lying to us, when people are lying on us, when people are cheating on us, when people are ghosting us, when people betray our trust. When that deal that we were hoping for, that job opportunity, that business opportunity, we were hoping and praying and manifest. We're doing everything we could for this opportunity. And we were right there. And it fell apart. It didn't happen. Remember how sad we were. Remember how frustrated we were. Remember how disappointed we were. Remember how angry we got. Remember when? Remember when? Remember when that bomb came to you and asked you for something? Remember when that person walked up to you and they were asking you for directions and how stank your attitude was, how dismissive you were? Remember when you were with your girls or you was with your boy and that woman walked up to you and you was like, that dude walked up to you and man, and he was trying to holler at you, your girls, and how y'all was like, You remember when? Remember when? Remember when? I'm having this conversation because it's imperative that we understand. It's crucial for your growth and development. For you to understand, it don't matter what you do. It don't matter what your intentions are behind what you do. You reap what you motherfucking sow. Karma has a way of coming around and slapping the dog shit out of you to get you to grow the fuck up, to get you to sit there in that frustration, that pain, that anger that you caused others. Real shit. Real shit. Karma has a way of coming back around, of helping you remember shit you didn't think nothing about. Because those people didn't even matter to you. That person you blew off, that person you brushed away, that person you shooed away, that person you said was dusty and dirty and broken, and all that other crazy shit. And you blew them off. You disrespected them. Karma has a way of coming around and saying, remember. Do you remember? I know you was with your girls and you was lit, but do you remember? You don't want to remember, so I'm going to help you remember. You don't want to remember all the people you've taken advantage of, so I'm going to help you remember. You don't remember all the people you dismissed, all the people you invalidated, all the people you disrespected, all the people you minimized because of your fears, your insecurities. You couldn't praise their accomplishments, and so you minimized them. Karma says, I got you. Everything you do, good or bad, I'm writing it down. Everything. I'm writing it down in this book of remembrance. And I'm going to bring it to you. And when good things happen to you in your life, I'm going to bring this book back to you. Things that just come out of the blue you didn't expect. I'm going to come knock at your door. I'm going to say, remember when you did this for that little kid? Remember when you helped that elderly lady? Remember when those people didn't have enough money for their groceries and you went ahead and paid for it? Remember when that person didn't have the bus fare or the train fare and you took care of that for them? Remember when somebody needed some clothes, some new shoes, and you had extra and you gave them your stuff? Nice stuff. Remember when that person needed a vehicle and you were going to buy a new one? And instead of selling your old vehicle, you gave it to that family because you knew that they needed it? Remember when? And so when all these blessings come into your life unexpectedly, it's because I remember when you did all of that, Elijah. I remember when you fed the hungry. I remember when you sat there and just listened and talked to that person. You didn't even know that they were suicidal at the time. You didn't know they had just lost their daddy. You didn't know that they had just lost their mom. You didn't know they had just lost their baby. But you were willing to listen. Remember when? Remember all the kids that you tried to encourage and inspire? Remember all the kids that you took to the movies and you took them on different trips? Remember all the little kids that you pulled to the side and you spoke to them individually about their life, about you believing in them, you giving them the hope that they needed, you being the inspiration? Remember all the elderly people you would go sit and visit? And you allowed them to just talk about their life and all the beautiful memories they had, all the lessons they've learned, all their great adventures. Remember when you made them feel valuable? You made them feel important. You made them feel heard. You made them feel seen. Remember when? All the people that they just needed somebody to show them that they mattered. And you heard their brokenness. And you gave them a hug. And they boo-hooed, crying on your shoulder. Remember the women that cried on your shoulder and they were so apologetic because their makeup had ran on your shirt, had smeared on your shirt. But you didn't care because you were far more concerned about them than that shirt you had on. Do you remember when? Do you remember people wanting to talk to you and you not having time for them? Do you remember when people wanted to just hang out? They didn't want to go do anything stupid. They just wanted to be in your presence. They just wanted to chop it up with you. And you pushed them away. You dismissed them. You made them feel like they weren't good enough. You made them feel like they weren't worthy. You remember that? See, so when all these things happen to us, the good things, the bad things, however you want to see it, when these things happen to us, that's the universe's way of saying, remember when. Yeah, that hurts, don't it? Yeah, that's frustrating, isn't it? You have all these great ideas, you have all this you want to accomplish, and nobody's listening to you. And now you're going through your season of loneliness. You're going through your season of isolation. And nobody really wanting to fuck with you. Remember when you looked at those people and you just saw them as sex objects? Remember when you looked at those people and you thought about how you was going to just break their back and just do whoop and da-da-da? You was just thinking about all this shit and just fantasizing about all this shit and fun you can have with them. Remember when? And so now that the roles have been reversed and people see you, not as somebody that they want to kick you with, not as somebody that they want to build with, not as somebody they want to grow with. They just see you as somebody they want to fuck. They just see you as a sex object because obviously to them you have nothing else to offer. And you're sitting there and you're broken and the tears are, it's like there's so much more to you than just sex. There's so much more to you than just your body. But that's all these people see. They don't give a damn how beautiful your mind is. They don't give a damn about the shit you want to do to better humanity. They don't give a damn about your business adventures. Because all they want to do is have sex. That's all you're good for to them. All you're good for now is the little bit of money that you gained. They don't give a damn how hard you work to get to where you're at. They don't give a damn about the struggles you've gone through to get to where you're at. They don't appreciate, they don't want to give a fuck about your story, about none of that. They just want to take. Gimme, 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 gimme. Because there's a time in your life where you were a taker too. There was times in your life where you were an energy vampire too. There were times in your life where you were selfish as fuck too. And so now, you're reaping what you've sown. And it's a hard pill to swallow. And it is what it is. Every single one of us go through this on a daily basis. Every one of us. We just don't realize it. We just don't understand what's really happening. We just see it as coincidence. We just see that, oh, those people are just toxic as fuck, and that they're just angry, and they're just jealous, and that's why they're hating on me, and da. Nah, motherfucker, your ass was just like them. You made people feel like that. And so now it's your turn to wear that little glass slipper. Now it's your turn to be all up in your feelings and your emotions about how somebody's making you feel, so that you can grow the fuck up and understand, man, I got to be more careful in my actions. I got to be more careful in what I say and what I do. That don't mean that I walk around on eggshells. It just means that I be more intentional. Understanding that karma ain't no fucking joke. You reap what you motherfucking sow. And it is what it motherfucking is. Hope and pray that I said something to encourage you, to inspire you, to even challenge your way of thinking. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Happy healing, family. Peace.